Hey everybody, welcome to LDS Singles Anonymous. Today, we're going to do our follow-up on the dating apps.
Oh no! I'm kind of glad I wasn't here for that one. My name is Amy.
My name is Buzzz.
I'm Linnea.
We are the LDS Singles Anonymous. We are here to recap on our disaster. Wait, no, I'm not allowed to call it a disaster. Our dating app experience. So, the last video, we signed me up for 4 dating apps or for 4 dating sites. They weren't necessarily application-based. They were browser-based, most of them.
So, what was the process of signing up for them like?
The process of signing up was actually pretty easy. Most of them are starting to get exclusive in the fact that you have to prove that you're a person. You have to prove, because they verify that they send a code to your phone. You can't just be catfishing like crazy anymore, which is very nice. However, I'm going to give the dating sites across the board, and it's not the sites, it's just the experience, a D-. It was not good. It was not good. It was not good. But before I start, we've got a couple of wonderful little things over here to talk about because somebody else signed herself up for some dating apps and had some interesting experiences.
Just one. I didn't sign up for multiple. I just went with the generic mutual. Free, it's on an app, it's on your phone, super easy. I went there instead. It was an adventure. It was uncomfortable. It was crazy. I learned some things. First thing I think I learned was that you gotta be careful what you put out there. So the way that mutual works is you put on the information, you fill out all of the requests that they have there. And then during that first week or so, or maybe the first few days, you get so many free notes that you can send and that you can receive. So basically a note is when someone sees your profile, the way that mutual works is if you swipe up, both of you swipe up on it or swipe whatever way, I think it's up.
It's up.
So obviously didn't spend much time on it. If you both swipe up, it's mutual, you can talk to each other. Notes are a one-way thing, so you can send someone a note without your profiles matching, which means you can get notes from people all over. And I received notes from people literally on the other side of the country just because they had full access. I'm assuming they were paying for it. And so they were able to reach out outside of my range, outside of my age range even. I was receiving notes from people.
And that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Should they limit the people that can talk to you by if they fit within your range? Or do they just need to say, hey, it's an application and we need to let anybody contact you? It's up to you to say, no, sorry, you're out of my range. It's an interesting discussion. I don't know that there's a right or wrong answer. As a user, we want it one way. But as an owner of a site that actually has to make money, and they have, some of these are corporations and they've got stockholders to answer to, you can't just say we want half of our people to leave the site because they don't think it's for them. They have an obligation.
That's true.
Although it would be nice as a user to know that, wow, if I pick between this age and this age, only people between that age can message me.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm getting a lot of messages, and some of them aren't real. Some of them are catfish accounts or whatever. I'm getting a lot of messages from very young people. If you start with a 2, no. Like, if you start with a 3, I've got a problem with that. But if you start with a 2, definitely no.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
So that was part of the issue. You were getting a lot of your initials from everybody?
I was getting some from everyone, from all over the place. I had on there a bit about my profession, and within 24 hours of getting on the site, I got a free note from someone during, I guess, their, free trial time period where you can see what it's like to have the full paid service. And I got a note from someone telling me that I was a scumbag for doing what I do as my full-time job.
And not in a nice way.
Ooh,
like
it was
very cruel, mean.
Very, very painful.
Awful.
That was scary.
It was scary. I was terrified. I cried. I'm a crier, so it's not unusual, but I broke down.
disturbing.
It was terrifying.
When I read it, I was seriously ready to get in my car and find this person and hurt them.
It was bad.
It was that bad.
It was really awful. So that was very uncomfortable. So take away from that, be careful what you put on there and be aware that anyone will make any comment on whatever you have on there. So if it's a a hot topic.
If it's a political topic.
Hot topic.
Yeah.
You might get some comments.
Well,
and it's very uncomfortable.
And along the lines of that, we need to stop being so specific and saying things like what we do. Mm-hmm. Don't say I'm a 5th grade teacher. Say I'm in education. Don't say I, am a broker for this. Say I'm in real estate. Keep things vague. Number one, it gives an opportunity to start a conversation with somebody. That's someone and somebody. If you put them together really hard, you gotta press it. But also, when you be too specific, you can turn some people off, or you can say things about what you do and invite people to come into comments like that.
Not an invitation.
That was not
people.
an
That's
invitation.
not an invitation. Okay, sorry. We're gonna leave that.
So let's leave that whole
first thing that I learned. Right.
Let's leave that topic. Let's go to your picture that you deleted. And why did you delete that picture?
I had a picture on. It was just a picture of me being silly. It's a very Linnea picture. And I got another one of those free notes. Again, just during this first week, I almost got off. This was why am I on here? I just had some random guy, again, outside of my range. So, I'm in Arizona. This guy was in Utah. I'm not going up to Utah to go on a date with a random dude, right? So I don't know why he thought this was a good idea, but he makes this comment and he's just like, hey, I saw your profile, you look really sexy in it, and it's just great. And I was like, no. Using the word sexy in your first comment is just thank you for telling me that all you see me is just a female body that you think is hot. Thanks. And I feel dirty and just gross. I don't have a problem with the word sexy, but when it's used initially like that right off, that's the only thing you say, was not pleasant.
It's similar to that, first interaction, you're at an activity and a guy comes up to you and the first thing he tells you is you're beautiful and then
leaves it.
Or you're sexy or you're something. And it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
make a statement
now.
here. Right. You took the picture off your site.
I did.
And
I deleted it.
I don't like that. And here's why I don't like that. It was a wonderful picture. It wasn't you being provocative. You were modestly dressed like you always are. Your hair was down. It was looking wonderful. And you were being zany and crazy, which you are. I think that picture says this is who Linnea is. Now, when you get a picture like that, you're going to get a bunch of different ranges of guys, and that's going to help you weed it out. This guy's going to say, wow, that's a really nice picture. And this person's going to go, you look sexy, man. I'd like to. Ugh. It's not your fault nor your problem where they go with it.
Yeah.
And to take the picture off, it's like, okay, I'm pretty or I'm a volleyball player and I work out all the time and so I'm going to dress in this nice suit of armor so no one can ever see that I'm fit, so people don't think that way. No, that's not the way to do it.
I mean, I'm sorry. You can finish.
I think we don't be provocative. I've gone on to some of these and it seems to be a little bit more of the age group I'm in. People tend to really, pushing up cleavage and trying to get these pictures of okay, now that I think is not right. You're not going to attract the right person with that. And maybe it's just people going, wow, I still want to feel like I'm pretty,
Yeah.
even though I'm aging a little bit. But you can be pretty without, having to, yeah. So that's my spiel.
I have 2 thoughts on this. The first one is, regarding women who do try to take those pictures that are like, I'm being sexy, I'm being whatever, they feel like that's what they want. Maybe they haven't had success with other less, whatever, I'm not sure what the word is, your pictures. Provocative, we'll use that word. So when I see them, I'm just like, this brings me to my second point that just highlights the reality of being a woman online.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In that I don't even update a lot of my social media profiles with like current pictures of myself very often. But every once in a while, sometimes I see I have messages and then I have message requests. And if you are a female with a social media account and you go in there, that list of message requests is predominantly filled with strange, creepy men who want to hit on you.
Mm-hmm. Little kitten, but I actually have been told scary.
You had, Buzz?
Yeah, finish your thought.
My thought is, and I've always told people this, I moved around a lot when I was a kid, and I was always the new kid in school. And at some point, I realized that you need to be you. Don't be who the people or who you think the people want you to be. Because if you go change for them so they'll like you, guess what? They like who you're pretending to be. Mm-hmm. Go out and be yourself. Be yourself. And then at the end of the day, the people that are around you love you for you. The people that like you and like to spend time with you like you for you. That's a life lesson, and it works in the dating apps. Go out and put yourself out there. If you're awkward, if you're a Trekkie, put on there that you're a Trekkie. You're going to be surprised at how many people want to go be a Trekkie with you. There are, just go out, be yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing so many profiles, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just getting the feeling she's putting that out there because she feels that's what the guys want to hear. She's saying this because that's what the guys want to hear. Either that or there's some super secret language, because I know a few girls, 99% of them don't like to hunt and fish and camp and outdoors, but every single profile goes, I love to be outdoors, and I love to camp, and I love to hike, and I love to fish, and I love to hunt. And I go, no, you don't. You're saying that because the guy's over here, with the bull elk going, I'm big, strong.
The fish picture. It's fine every time.
So, so that's my idea is I've had a terrible time on the dating apps. It's been awful. LDS Planet, I got 7 hits in a row, message, and I went to every one of the 7, and all of them were erased because they were fake profiles and they were deleted off the thing. And I'm going, okay, well, that's interesting. So apparently the fake people really like me. So...
doesn't that make you feel good?
Yes, because likes attract. So I must be a wonderful fake person. No, not had a good time. Not one of the dating sites has really shown that it's better than another. LDS Planet has the most activity. It has had the most issues as well, mostly with the people that are on it. But if you enjoy the dating sites, great. Maybe it'll work for you. Like they say, you only need to find the one. So sometimes you gotta kiss a couple of frogs.
We do know some people who have had some success, even if the relationships didn't turn into marriage. They still had good relationships with these people.
Yeah, I did have one. She did not meet my my criteria, and I said, well, we can be friends. And we talked about a couple of things that we have common interests. And she says, I'm not interested in a friend. And that's it. I haven't heard from her since.
And that's okay.
That's cool.
That is okay.
That is the reason you go to a dating app primarily. I mean, some people are. I think there are some apps that give you the option to be like, I want to look for friends, I want to look for a relationship.
Which Mutual does.
Well,
It
they all do
allows you
that.
to provide
I think
that.
all of them, you can say, what am I looking for? I'm looking for marriage. I'm looking
Okay.
for
That's true.
No.
Yeah,
a
you
pen
have to-
pal. I'm looking for da 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 da.
Yeah.
And most people just click all 4 of them or what. So
Looking for everything. Because I need everything in my
I'm
life.
looking for anything. I'm looking for a friend because I'm lonely.
I mean, who isn't? That's why we're here.
That's why we're all moving to Oklahoma to live in one giant house that we just found online. It's on Zillow. You can find it.
Speaking of finding people.
Finding people, creepy.
But I had one last comment, and this is kind of a follow-up to, well, so I did not do the sign-up process. I was not here for that. And so I have not been on a dating app for a very long time. But I just noticed I was talking to Linnea as she was going through this dating app process. And the thing that was interesting to me is you talked about how you felt like you had to please them. And this is something that as a woman, again, we are taught to people please. And that it was so interesting to me because I know you personally and I know your personality. And not that you're not a kind, wonderful, giving human being, because you are in so many ways, but you're not a people pleaser with men, or I don't know how to say this. I saw you were turning into this person that you felt like you had to be. And it wasn't even necessarily, you weren't interested in any of these people, but you felt like you needed to like nurture them and take care of them and help teach them how to, this was a good response and like be kind, because we get comments over the pulpit like men have glass hearts. Please don't tell them no when they ask you on a date.
If anyone tells you that, flip them off and tell them, no, I will do what I need to do.
And so, but it's just this feeling is so ingrained in us that even when you feel personally like I have overcome this people-pleasing tendency, I have set boundaries, I no longer just forget myself and forget who I am and what I stand for in order to accommodate other people. But it is so ingrained that it does come out. And I'm not quite sure what the solution or the result of that is, but just that feeling is still there. And I kind of want to encourage people to not feel like you have to do that. I mean, we should always be kind, obviously, and we shouldn't be like, no, or like, that was stupid, and we don't have to, but we don't have to respond to every single message that we ever get. And it is not, and if it is just like maybe you're not super interested in that, but it's just a perfectly fine conversation, and you're maybe in a friendly kind of way, go ahead. But if you feel yourself changing who you are, you're like, I am being a different person on this app because I feel like this is who I need to be, then maybe it's time to take a step back and say either I need to come at this with a different approach, or maybe this isn't for me, or how can I be myself and not, I think betray is maybe a strong word, but how can I do this without losing who I truly am in these interactions?
Yeah.
That's a good
It's
point.
okay to lower expectations. It's not okay to lower standards.
That's a good way to put it.
That is a good way to put it.
I like that.
Yeah, it's very true. I remember that moment when we were talking about it, and I was like,
I
oh
was
my
like,
gosh, I'm doing this thing.
Dearie, we need
You're
to find
becoming
a
the
different...
nurse.
I was
We need to
becoming
do
the
a different
nurse.
plan.
Yeah.
I was. And that was, I guess that's kind of a final comment as well that I'll make. I did go on a date, and I came home from it, and it was a fine date. And I came home, and I was telling my parents about it, and they got very excited that I'd gone on a date, because that's the response when your single daughter mentions that she goes on a date. And I mentioned that it was, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't a date that I was interested in going on another one with. And the first response that my dad said was like, well, maybe, but he was just probably nervous and was like making excuses. And I instantly felt guilty for thinking I don't want to go on a date with this person anymore. And I had to take a step back and be like, wait, no, I had decided that this was, he was a nice person, but I just was not interested in dating. But him making that comment made me feel like I was being a bad person for saying no and for thinking negative thoughts, or maybe not even negative, just not the kindest thoughts about this person. And so I felt like maybe I do have to, do I have to give this guy another chance? Because that's, I am a nurse. I do help people. I'm not actually a nurse, but as a type of person, I like to collect the people who I tend to collect the people who maybe are on the outskirts. I think of myself as more of a compassionate person. And so I had to separate that person from the person that I am when I'm dating, because I don't want a fixer-upper, or I don't want someone that I have to drag along. I don't want someone that I have to teach in order to become an equal partner, I don't want to be a parent, or I don't want to be the caregiver in a relationship. I want a partner. And I had to realize that I had to separate those parts of myself. There is someone who can go out, go to church, sit by the people who are alone. But in my dating life, I have to hold true to those standards that I've established, to those ideas that this is the type of person that I want in a partnership. And I have to separate those two sides of me. Be true to yourself, but remember that there are standards that shouldn't be lowered.
You get one shot at
this.
And life's too short to marry a fixer-upper.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No. Yeah. Standards are important. Boundaries are important. Mm-hmm. And, it's okay to cater to a certain person or a certain group or a certain need. You don't want to start a relationship with that. No.
But those are things we've learned.
Yeah.
Did you have another comment?
There are things you can accept in people that you're just friends with, acquaintances with.
Yes.
You do not have to accept that in a partner.
Right.
Mm-hmm. True.
Let's say I've got a friend with a gambling addiction. I can be friends with him. I'm not going to be in business with him. No. Sorry, buddy. I can't get there. And that's the way we need to be with spouses. Also, date who you'd marry, because you marry who you date.
Wise words.
And with that, we are done with our recap of dating apps. Oh.
Yeah, if you have any other comments, any experiences that you had on your dating apps, or any other stories you want to tell, comment below, send us an email. We'd love to hear about them. Thanks for watching.